Hello, good afternoon, welcome to Glasgow. It is weigh-in day ahead of a Friday night delight. Live on DAZN from the iconic Hydro, we've got an absolute cracker for you. 6 months ago, Nathaniel Collins and Cristobal Lorente battled it out in a 12-round thriller. At the end of the fight, Collins thought he won. Lorente thought he won. The fans, well, they knew that they had won, and we had to see it back because it was a draw, and that's what we're going to see Friday night. The winner, front of the queue for the WBC World Featherweight Championship. It is packed in here, and I'm delighted to have this man with me. He won the British, the Commonwealth, the European Championships in lightning quick time. Lee McGregor, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. It's good to be here. Really, it's heaving. It's so busy, and would expect a good night of boxing tomorrow. Big time
boxing is back in Scotland. It feels like for the last year or so. I know that was Josh Taylor's last fight against Echo Esserman, but it's kept on coming here. It's a great time for Scottish boxing.
No, for sure. I got a call last week asking if I would jump on it. I said, of course. However, things have changed, and I'm not on it now, but I'll still be in attendance, and I'm looking forward to a brilliant night of boxing.
Well, let's speak briefly about you as well, because we're going to get into the card, but you do have a fight now announced coming up on the Dave versus Goliath card. Big fight for you against Michael Gomez Jr.
It's a brilliant fight. It's an opportunity for me to get right back in the mix and be back on the big stage, and I'm confident that I'm going to go in there, do a job, and who knows, maybe one day we come back to Scotland and we can see McGregor Collins too.
And look, and we'll come to that, because I know that is an itch that you want to scratch with Nathaniel Collins. But in terms of this Michael Gomez fight, it's up in weight for you, right? You're up at lightweight for this. Tell me why it's the right decision for you.
Just obviously, I was presented the opportunity at lightweight. He's just off the back of a good win at lightweight. I said yes because, in my opinion, I don't really believe Michael Gomez is a fully fledged lightweight, either am I. So it was an opportunity that I couldn't really say no to, and I think it's a perfect one for me, because like I said, I don't believe he's a fully fledged lightweight. I'll come through that, and then I'm now in a good position, and I can hopefully have a good future, then make a decision on what I want to do. But I know in my head what I want to do, but first things first, I need to win and I need to make a statement.
Just quickly, what is your thoughts on this main event? Collins versus Lorente 2. First fight was a thriller, but the judges couldn't split them.
Yeah, honestly, I've been saying it. People have been asking me, a lot of people have been asking me, and my opinion on the fight's not going to change. It's going to be very similar to the first fight, I think, in my opinion. Nathaniel's very dangerous and sharp early on, really sharp. But no matter what you say, and you can just be more disciplined and just need to not get dragged into a fight. When you've got a mad Spaniard like Lorente who's taking shots and walking through shots, and he's still there, and you are starting to then feel the pace, I'm sorry, but discipline and that stuff goes out the window. You're going to have to sit there and stand, and you're going to have to fight with him. And whether or not Nathaniel's going to have enough in the tank to do that later on in the fight, time will tell. But I do firmly believe it's going to be very similar to the first fight.
That is fascinating insight. Well, listen, this is the weigh-in now. It's not a ceremonial weigh-in. This is the official weigh-in. They're going to hit the scales before they hit each other tomorrow night. Let's head over to Thomas Triber.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the weigh-in for Score to Settle. A great night of championship boxing to be held tomorrow from OVO Hydro in Glasgow, Scotland. It is all being brought to you by Frank Warren for Queensberry, along with their great sponsors, 32 Red, Unibet, Riyadh Season, That Prize Guy, and Global Next Trade. A big thanks to those great sponsors. Well, a few reminders, ladies and gentlemen. Tickets are available through Ticketmaster, and you can watch it live, worldwide, exclusively on DAZN. And now, boxing fans, let's get the weigh-in process started. Our first two fighters to the scale competing tomorrow in a scheduled 4-round welterweight contest. We welcome first from Colchester, England. He has 16 professional bouts to his credit. Let's welcome Ryan Frost.
Ryan Frost will be taking on Drew Limond tomorrow evening live on DAZN. Drew Limond, of course, carrying on that iconic Scottish fighting name.
$150.5 for Ryan Frost. And now we welcome to the scale from right here, Glasgow, Scotland, undefeated with 5 wins. 2 of his 5 wins come by way of knockout. Here is Drew Limond.
Well, good noise in here for Drew Limond, of course, the son of the late, great Willie Limond. Fight number 6 coming up for him tomorrow night.
149.5 for the undefeated Drew Limond.
He's a talent, isn't he, Lee?
Yeah, he is. It's mad because I remember Drew being such a small young boy, and he's just took a massive stretch. I just weighed 149 there. I'd imagine obviously going to be welterweight going forward, but a phenomenal talent, and excited to see how far he can go on his journey.
Yeah, whole new team set up the last few fights. He's joined Nathaniel Collins, training with Joe Ham Senior. It's a great gym up there. Regan Glackin, fighters like that. Cut his hair recently. He's got a bit of a buzz cut. Says it was getting in his way, and he looks like he means business. He
does. He's got a good team around him as well. Like you said, Joe, Nathaniel, they're experienced, and they put the work in. So I'd imagine he's going to be fully prepared for tomorrow.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, these two competing tomorrow in a 4-round welterweight contest. Our next 2 fighters competing tomorrow in a scheduled 4-round super middleweight contest. First, we will welcome to the scale from Morecambe, England. 3 wins, 6 defeats, and 2 draws. Here is Owen, the Captain Kirk.
Well, Owen Kirk from Morecambe. Some very famous fighters from Morecambe. Certain Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
Although Nelson Birchall, also from Morecambe, says that he will soon become the most famous Morecambe fighter. So it's got a bit of competition. Maybe this gentleman gets in on the act.
170.4 ounces for Owen, the Captain Kirk. Now we welcome to the scale from Edinburgh, Scotland, a stellar amateur, becoming a 4-time national champion, now undefeated as a professional with 3 victories. Let's welcome Alex Arthur Jr.
Fight number 4 for Alex Arthur Jr. Looks ripped to shreds up there.
171 for the undefeated Alex Arthur Jr.
I think the Arthur name is in safe hands. Alex Arthur Jr., of course, Macklin Arthur as well, making his debut on this show.
Yeah, I've obviously been in the gym with the two lads for years, seen them as young boys. Obviously there's a lot of hype about Macklin, but Alex has sort of went under the radar over the years, and he wasn't really, I didn't really think he was planning to go on in this boxing journey that he's on now and do as well as he has done. And he's got a real exciting future ahead of him, and I think he's taking it serious. He does everything properly, as you can see, in fantastic shape, and yeah, he's got a good future ahead of him.
Well, he's doing a lot of his learning under the lights, Alex Arthur Jr., and he hasn't lost a round so far as a professional. Everything has gone to plan. He's looked so good so far, and we look forward to the next one.
Ladies and gentlemen, these two competing tomorrow in a scheduled 4-round super middleweight contest.
One of 2 Arthurs, of course, on this show. We'll see Macklin very shortly.
Our next two fighters to the scale, competing tomorrow in a scheduled 4-round lightweight contest. First to the scale. From Essex, England, he has 43 professional bouts to his credit. Let's welcome Casey Brandom.
Well, Casey Brandom has the unenviable task of taking on the man making his professional debut, John Thompson, who has a lot of hype around him. John Thompson has got a full camp, including Willie Hutchinson with him as well. So that's going to be some corner.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, I don't really know much about John Thompson. However, like you said, he's part of team Willie Hutchinson, so he's definitely in good hands, and it'll be interesting to see what he gets on tomorrow.
138.6 ounces for Casey Brandom. Now to the scale, from Lanark, Scotland, making his pro debut, here is John Thompson.
Well, he's won multiple regional and national titles, John Thompson, 20 years old. It's debut time.
136.5 ounces for John Thompson.
And I'll tell you, speaking to Willie Hutchinson yesterday, he was absolutely raving about this gentleman. I was trying to speak to Willie about himself, about his great win. He was like, it's not about me, Dev, it's about John Thompson. So, look, if he's hyped, I think we can all get hyped.
Yeah, 100%. And you know something, you cannot beat a professional debut in your home country, in Scotland. Going to be packed to the rafters, all your friends, family, the whole of Scotland's going to be there. You get one debut, and it's you've got to enjoy it. I'm sure he will, and let's see how far he can go.
Do you think you'd do anything differently on your debut if you could have it again?
No, I wouldn't change anything. Everything about it was unbelievable. In my capital, in Edinburgh, on a Josh Taylor undercard. I don't think it gets better.
Yeah, that sounds unforgettable. I'm sure we're going to have an unforgettable debut from John Thompson here. Multiple time national amateur champion, 20 years old. And as Lee McGregor said, you only get one debut. Looks in shape, looks ready to go, Lee.
Yeah, that's it. He's in good shape, he's ready. And it's time to fuel up and enjoy yourself tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Our next two fighters to the scale, competing tomorrow in a 4-round welterweight contest. First to the scale, from Glasgow, Scotland. He has 15 professional bouts to his credit. Let's welcome Donald McKinnis.
Well, here comes Donald McKinnis, who will be taking on Macklin Arthur on Macklin Arthur's highly anticipated professional debut. Donald McKinnis from Glasgow. He's a local man. No doubt he'd have watched Alex Arthur as he grew up.
152.8 ounces for Donald McKinnis. Now to the scale, from Edinburgh, Scotland, a 6-time national amateur champion. He makes his professional boxing debut tomorrow. Let's welcome Macklin Arthur.
Well, Macklin Arthur very much has boxing in his blood. He's been doing it since he was 3 years old. The son, of course, of the legendary Alex Arthur.
148.7 ounces for Macklin Arthur.
And he told a great story yesterday, Lee. He said basically his dad used to make him run to nursery.
Yeah, and I'm going to say his dad's done him no favours. But at the same time, he's built the height. He's been raving about Macklin for years.
Yeah.
So he's got all to do, and I'm sure he will.
Comes with its pressure as well, of course, being the son of a legend. You know, we've seen so many over the years. Fighters take it differently. He seems a level-headed chap, though.
Yeah, 100%. Like I said, I've been in the gym with the boys for years, so I know what kind of lad he is, and he'll soak this up. He'll enjoy it, but I do think he'll learn a lot from these. It's very key to learn from these early fights in his career, because I don't think Macklin's had one senior fight, and it's a complete different sport. I'm sure his dad will have drummed this into him, so I think he's going to do a lot of learning on the way.
Well, this is the first face-off in what should be a very long and brilliant career for Macklin Arthur. Pro debut tomorrow night live on DAZN, the son of the legendary Alex Arthur.
Once again, these two competing tomorrow in a scheduled 4-round welterweight contest.
There's a good relationship as well between the brothers. They were sat next to each other at the press conference yesterday, sort of telling funny stories. But there is a whole new dynamic for them in terms of they'll be boxing on the same show as pros. They might be nervous.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it'll help. Alex has been there, he's done it. I'm sure he'll help Macklin, so it's going to be exciting for the two of them.
Our next two fighters to the scale competing tomorrow in a 8-round contest. It will be for the vacant Boxing Union of Ireland Celtic Featherweight Championship. First to the scale, from Dublin, Ireland, a stellar amateur, now undefeated as a professional with 5 victories. Let's welcome, known as the Secret, Latif Bayo Alabi.
Well, a big moment in the career for Bayo Alabi, 5-0 so far. He calls himself the Secret. We're going to find out about that secret tomorrow night because he takes on the highly touted Marcus Sutherland. Yeah,
phenomenal fighter. I see there's a lot of hype around him as well. It's great to see as well. So early on in their careers, both putting their undefeated records on the line, so it's going to be a good clash.
For the undefeated Latif Bayo Alabi, known as the Secret. Now we welcome to the scale, from Shotts, Scotland, undefeated, 10 wins. 6 of his 10 wins come by way of knockout. He is the current WBC Intercontinental Youth Champion and Commonwealth Youth Champion, Marcus Sutherland.
Well, here is Marcus Sutherland. He's looked fantastic so far in his career, but this is the step up.
126 for the undefeated Marcus Sutherland.
He's been getting a lot of comparisons to Nick Ball as he's been coming up to that fighting style, that short, stocky kind of frame that he's got. Bayo Alabi says that he doesn't understand those comparisons.
It's one of them, obviously, it is. You can see it, you can see the comparisons, but it's all well and good doing that to guys who are not going to come back like this boy is tomorrow. So I think a lot of questions will be answered tomorrow, and I'm sure he'll get the job done, push on to bigger and better things.
I'll tell you what, Alabi fancies this. We can see him there on screen just rubbing his hands together. He has fancied this fight. Remember, it is unbeaten versus unbeaten with the Celtic Featherweight Championship on the line. That is nose to nose, Lee.
Yeah, that's it. This is what we want to see. Security's over there as well. I'm really excited for this fight. They both look bang up for it, and both of them are in phenomenal shape as well. You've got to give credit to them and their team, so may the best man win.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, these two competing tomorrow in a scheduled 8-round contest for the vacant BUI Celtic Featherweight Championship.
I love a good face-off, Lee. I love a good face-off where they do that and then they don't shake hands.
It gets you hyped. It just makes you want to see the fight even more, so roll on tomorrow.
Our next two fighters to the scale competing tomorrow in a scheduled 6-round welterweight contest. First to the scale, from Southampton, Hampshire, England. 8 wins, 14 defeats, 1 draw, 1 win by knockout. Here is Matthew King Cobra.
Here is Matthew King Cobra, who will be taking on Reece Lynch tomorrow night. Big fan of a nickname. His name, of course, is Matthew King. I love that he's thrown in Cobra at the end, Lee.
Yeah, when I hear that, I think of Carl Froch, so he's got a lot to live up to.
For Matthew King Cobra. Now to the scale from Fold House, Scotland. Undefeated with 3 wins. One of his 3 wins comes by way of knockout. Here is Rhys Lightning Lynch.
Plenty of noise in here for the Commonwealth Games gold medalist Rhys Lynch. Fight number 4 for him tomorrow night.
145 for the undefeated Rhys Lightning Lynch.
Yeah, I think it was before Rhys turned professional. Done some good sparring ahead of my European title fight with Vincent Legrand. He was southpaw, a lot smaller than what he is now. Like I said, I don't think he had turned pro at this point. What he's went on to achieve since then has been remarkable. So a career that we all need to get behind, and it's going to be an exciting one. He's in good hands as well. His brother Peg looking after him. It's yeah, I'm intrigued to see how far he can go.
Yeah, he's in good hands, and one thing's clear from this card already: Scottish boxing is in very good hands. Rhys Lynch could be one of those future flag bearers, has of course been a flag bearer, Commonwealth Games gold medalist, a lot of talent here in Scotland, and that man may well be the future, Lee.
That's it. This is his opportunity to build the fan base he needs to get the fans behind him. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, these two competing tomorrow in a scheduled 6-round welterweight contest.
He's been doing a lot of sparring with Pierce O'Leary. He said yesterday at the press conference, one thing's for sure, Pierce O'Leary can definitely bang.
Well, I'm sure. I think we've seen that as well on his last fight, and he can do a ring walk as well, for sure.
Yeah.
Our next 2 fighters competing tomorrow in a scheduled 4-round middleweight contest. First to the scale, from Bradford, Yorkshire, England. His record, no wins with just 1 defeat. Here is Tariq Davis.
Well, making his way to the scales now, Tariq Davis in action tomorrow evening against Stephen Newns.
158.3 ounces for Tariq Davis.
He sort of looks a bit like Terence Crawford. Are you seeing that at all?
Yeah, I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one. If he performs like Crawford,
from
Newns is in trouble.
Scotland, undefeated with 11 victories. Here is Stephen Newns Jr.
Well, Stephen Newns Jr. did very well in the amateurs. Lee McGregor, you can tell us about that.
Yeah, we've travelled the world as amateurs together. Good fighter. I expect him to come through this tomorrow, and then again have another exciting career.
Newns Jr.
He's been looking for the big opportunity every time Queensberry have done a show in Scotland, and he's not been on it. Trust me, he's been in my DMs saying, just you wait, Dev, till I'm on these shows. Gets his chance tomorrow night live on DAZN.
That's it with these as well. You get this opportunity, you need to take it. If you don't put in a performance tomorrow on a stage like this, the harsh reality of it is you're probably not going to get another chance. So you make a statement and you put in a good performance, you're back on them. That's what these young players want to be doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Gets his chance now, Stephen Newns. Unbeaten so far in 11 fights. Hasn't registered a knockout yet in his career, but maybe he's saving it for the big stage. Maybe he's saving it for the Hydro League.
Well, I was in the gym with him this week, and that's what he did say. First knockout
Once again,
coming.
ladies and gentlemen, these two competing tomorrow in a scheduled 4-round middleweight contest.
He boxed everyone. He's been in with Pat McCormack, Harris Akbar, Kieran Malloy. There's a win there over Sam Hickey, so he's had the pedigree as an amateur, and that pro career continues tomorrow.
Our next 2 fighters competing tomorrow in a scheduled 12-round contest. It will be for the vacant British and Commonwealth Super Featherweight Championships. First to the scale, from Port Talbot, Wales. His professional record, 10 wins, 2 defeats. 1 win comes by way of knockout. He is the current Celtic Super Featherweight Champion, Conor Conzo McIntosh.
I'll tell you what, Conor McIntosh has brought plenty with him. A lot of noise in here for for him, Lee?
He's going to need it. He's in with a real talent tomorrow night. But it's good. It's what we want to see. It's going to be a good match-up, and I think it's a massive opportunity for Royston. If I'm right in saying it, 22 years old, becoming British champion. Yeah, so it's going to be a good one.
Let's see if he's made 130 pounds.
129.5 ounces for Conor McIntosh.
The answer is yes, a definitive yes.
Now we welcome to the scale from Southampton, England. Undefeated with 15 wins, 7 of his 15 wins come by way of knockout. He is the current IBF European and WBO European Super Featherweight Champion, Sugar Boy Royston Barney-Smith.
Well, my goodness, tremendous noise in here for Royston Barney-Smith.
129.8 ounces for the undefeated Sugar Boy Royston Barney-Smith.
Lee, whereabouts in Scotland is Southampton? Because he sounds like a Scottish fighter.
Unbelievable, yeah. The support in here is brilliant. Again, McIntosh got a lively crowd up here as well, so it's what we want to see. We want to hear noise, and hopefully the fight delivers the same.
Well, he's 15-0 so far in his career, young Royston Barney-Smith, challenging now to become British and Commonwealth champion, coming off the best win of his career against Danny Quartermain. Seemed to hurt Quartermain with a variety of shots in there, finding that man strength now at 22 years old. But Conor McIntosh, his dream, Lee, is to become British champion. Yeah,
I think it's a test Royston will need, like you said, a decent test for him coming through Quartermain. Now another one. I think the decision made after this fight for Royston is massive in his development. You come through this, you're British champion at 22-year-old. You remember, you are only 22. I've done the same. I won the British so young and then went straight on European. I think Royston maybe defend it a couple of times, go on to European, and then eventually...
Well, look at this, Lee. They are talking to each other up there. There is tension, there is respect, but plenty of tension.
It's 12 rounds scheduled for the vacant British and Commonwealth Super Featherweight Championships.
Great atmosphere in here. Those belts, of course, vacated by Ryan Garner, and Royston Barney-Smith, his plan is to come up, collect those belts behind him, and maybe one day take a belt off of Ryan Garner himself.
Our next two fighters competing tomorrow in a scheduled 4-round middleweight contest. First to the scale from Portsmouth, England. His professional record, 5 wins with 6 defeats. Here is Harley Hodgetts.
Well, Harley Hodgetts, he will be taking on John Joe Carrigan tomorrow night, and John Joe Carrigan is that prospect that everyone is talking about. They call him the star boy, maybe the best prospect in the world. These are the kind of noises that we're hearing on the scene.
159 for Harley Hodgetts.
I think I heard him saying earlier on he's 160 for this, but he's going to do 154. But I'm looking at him now, and he looks in fantastic shape at 160. So at 154, if he can do that safely enough, I'd imagine he's going to
as a professional, undefeated with 2 wins. Both of those 2 wins come by way of knockout. Here is Starboy John Joe Carrigan.
And he is a star boy indeed. 19 years old, world amateur champion. So far, so good.
159 for the undefeated star boy John Joe Carrigan.
And you said there, Lee, he looks good at middleweight, right?
Yeah, I'm just looking there, and then I'm thinking, where's that 5 pounds coming from when he's going to go to 154? So I think that's a decision they'll make as he goes on in his career. He might fall into a good size 160. So, but he seemed confident enough to say he was going to do 154 going forward. So early on in his career, but like you said, everybody's raving about him. So he's got to deliver tomorrow.
And just 19 years old as well, so there's a feeling, you know, if he's campaigning at 154, he can go up well through the weights. By the end of his career, he could end up anywhere.
100%. There's no ceiling there, really, to be honest. 19 years old. Mad. A very long, exciting career ahead of him.
Very much so. Fight number 3 coming up for John Joe Carrigan tomorrow night. Got an air of confidence about him, as he should.
Worldwide on DAZN. It's 4 rounds scheduled in the middleweight division.
And look, as you'd expect at 19 years old, an extraordinary head of hair on the boy. What do you think, Lee?
No, it's mad because it feels like yesterday I was in that position, just turning pro that young. I'm 29 now. I'm getting jealous of these boys, man.
Still got your hair?
It's not too bad.
Our next 2 fighters competing tomorrow in a scheduled 12-round contest. It will be for the vacant British Super Bantamweight Championship. First to the scale, from Nottingham, England, a stellar amateur, now undefeated as a professional with 7 wins. He has 1 draw, 1 win comes by way of knockout. Let's welcome Nico Lightning Leivars.
Well, a big moment for Nico Leivars tomorrow night. Looks to become British champion.
121.4 ounces for the undefeated Nico Lightning Leivars. And now we welcome to the scale from Newart Hill, Scotland. Undefeated, 9 wins, 3 of his 9 wins come by way of knockout. He is the current Celtic Super Bantamweight champion, Dylan Arbuckle.
Well, here is the Celtic champion looking to become British champion.
121.3 ounces for the undefeated Dylan Arbuckle.
So many great fighters over the years have become British Super Bantamweight champion and gone on to achieve great things in the sport. And that British title, it's a special title, Lee.
100%. Still, you know, me personally in my career, it's the only... I've won the belt, obviously, but I never got to keep it. And I was absolutely devastated because you need to, as you know, defend it 3 times to keep the belt. I never done that. I won it. I never had anyone to defend it against, and then I had to go on to European so early on in my career. But I would have absolutely loved to have kept that belt. One of the most prestigious in boxing.
Well, it's a special belt, and this is a special fight. Think of names like Jazza Dickens, Kid Galahad, Scott Quigg. All of them have become British Super Bantamweight champions and gone on to become world champions. It is more than just a stepping stone belt. It's a special belt, as Lee McGregor said.
Live worldwide on DAZN. It's 12 rounds scheduled for the vacant British Super Bantamweight Championship.
And I was speaking to Nico, he's not into any of these theatrics. He's not going to slag off his opponent at a presser. He's not going to get into his face at a face-off. He's all business.
Do you know what? I think Dylan's very similar. I've been in the amateurs with the boy as well, and very, very similar. I think their respect's there. But tomorrow night, that goes out the window, and I'm sure we're in for a good fight.
Our next 2 fighters competing tomorrow in a scheduled 10-round contest. It will be for the WBA International Middleweight Championship. First to the scale, from London, England. His professional record consists of 18 wins, 2 defeats, 1 draw, 9 of his 18 wins come by way of knockout. He is the former English and former Commonwealth middleweight champion, Sam the Magic Man Gilley.
Well, Sam Gilley, the Magic Man, he's won plenty of belts at 147 pounds. He's won belts at 154 pounds. This is the middleweight debut against Aston Brown up in Scotland, away from home, but he fancies it.
160 even for Sam the Magic Man Gilley.
And bang on the weight.
And now we welcome to the scale from right here, Glasgow, Scotland. Undefeated with 9 wins, 4 of his 9 wins come by way of knockout. He is the current Celtic and Scottish area middleweight champion. Here is Aston Badman Brown.
Plenty of noise, great ovation here for Aston Badman Brown.
159.4 ounces for the undefeated Aston Badman Brown.
And there is an intensity about Aston Brown, like there has been all week. And Lee, you pointed something out about Sam Gilley.
Yeah, it's mad, because like 147, 154, this 160, and he looks like he's, he can't get the fluids down him quick enough, but I've been there myself. It's trying out's never nice, but he's in against a big middleweight tomorrow. Aston Brown is a phenomenal fighter. I think people forget, because of the wee blips he's had in his career, that how good he really is, but he's shown that in his last couple of fights, and again I think this is going to be fight of the night.
I think a lot of people actually are saying that this could well be fight of the year. Aston Brown against Sam Gilley. Aston Brown looking to kickstart his career, get that momentum. And Sam Gilley, look at this, roaring at the crowd. They are bang up for this, Lee.
Aston, he loves it. He's always like that. Look at that. Unbelievable. That's what we want. Gets you absolutely buzzing for fight night.
And that's the most aggressive sort of dap-up hand slap that I've ever seen. I mean, goodness me, if Aston Brown had done that to my hand would come off. A lot of respect there, but my goodness, they are up for this. Let's start getting these main event fighters onto the stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, our main event tomorrow, live worldwide, exclusively on DAZN. It is a rematch. It's a battle of the undefeated. 12 rounds scheduled, and it is a final eliminator for the WBC Featherweight Championship of the World. Let's first welcome to the scale, coming to us from Barcelona, Catalunya, Spain. Ranked number 2 in the world by the WBC, he brings a professional record undefeated. 20 wins, 3 draws, 8 of his 20 wins come by way of knockout. He is a former Spanish champion and former EBU European featherweight champion. Let's welcome Cristobal Lorente.
Well, here is the former European champion Cristobal Lorente, one half of the main event.
124.5 ounces for the undefeated Cristobal Lorente.
As he takes his baby into his arms here as well. A nice moment there.
And now we welcome to the scale from right here, Glasgow, Scotland. Ranked number 1 in the world by the WBC. He is undefeated with 17 wins, 1 draw, 8 of his 17 wins come by way of knockout. Here is the undefeated former British and Commonwealth champion and the current WBC silver champion, Nathaniel the Nightmare Collins.
Well, the roof nearly came off here for Nathaniel the Nightmare Collins. Let's see if he's made it.
125.4 ounces for the undefeated fighter from Glasgow, Nathaniel the Nightmare Collins.
How did he look to you up there, Lee?
Yeah, obviously, I think everybody knows it's quite, Nathaniel's quite tight the weight. He's some size for a featherweight. Lorente, however, coming in, I think, almost 2 pounds over, not far off making Super Bantamweight, and he looks, he's not even went for his water or nothing, so I don't think there's been any struggles there at all. Again, doesn't really matter. We're in for a good fight tomorrow. And again, like I keep saying, like I said earlier on, I think this fight is going to be so similar to the first.
So you see Nathaniel as naturally the bigger man?
Oh yeah, without a doubt, yeah, by far. But it's just how much is he going to be able to recover, refuel, And then, like I said, the back end of the fight is where this is won or lost for Nathaniel, to be honest. And the questions will be answered tomorrow. But aye, it's one of them that's we're intrigued to see it.
Do you know what's interesting? I'm intrigued to see if Cristobal Lorente is taking his baby into this face-off. He is still holding on to, I mean, I assume it's his child, but he's still holding on to that child. I'd imagine he's going to hand it off before facing off. No, the baby's in. The baby's in. Here we go. Well, I don't think we're going to have a push and a pull now, although Lorente does still stick his fist up, which I find, I mean, I wouldn't like it if someone did that to me, Lee.
It's one of them, we've taken a baby into a face-off, but again, you see them, the fist, the respect's there. I'm sure that's going to give Lorente a wee bit more motivation again tomorrow as well to come through this fight. It's a good one.
It is a good one indeed.
Main event tomorrow live, worldwide exclusively on DAZN. It's a rematch and a battle of the undefeated 12-round schedule, and it is a final eliminator for the WBC Featherweight Championship of the World.
I'll tell you what, I have never seen anything like that before in the sport, where a fighter has a face-off before a fight and brings a child, a baby in. I mean, I saw something a few years ago. Do you remember when Billy Joe Saunders had a face-off with Willie Monroe? Yeah, and his son ended up like punching Willie Monroe. Yeah, that child was too young to do anything like that, but what a scene.
Yeah, no, do you know what? I've got a daughter myself. I know how much motivation and that gives me, and I think maybe that's Lorente's thoughts behind it. Just having his baby there and like doing this for you kind of thing. So yeah, no, I can understand it. Would I do it? Probably not, but I can understand it.
Do you know, it is an interesting kind of theme of the week there, because of course we saw that child in the weigh-in there, but also Nathaniel Collins has a child due like this week. That's a lot to be thinking about going into the biggest fight of your career.
To be fair, I knew that. I didn't know it was due this week, but yeah, 100%. Things like this, hopefully I'd imagine everything will be obviously all sorted, but it's in the lead up to that, you know, the sleepless nights, that all plays a part in when you're preparing for a fight of this magnitude. So I hope there's been no disruptions in his camp because of that, but again, motivation for him also. Come through this fight, get this belt, new baby on the way. Great summer to look forward to.
Well, talk to me about the fight itself then. One thing that you've said a few times is that you see it being pretty much the same as the first fight. That means a draw. That means Collins starting strong, Lorente finishing strong, and the judges not being able to separate them. How are you seeing it?
I'm going to be honest, like, honestly, genuinely, I would not be surprised if it finished in a draw again.
Well, he does tend to draw. Lorente, he's had like 3 draws in his career.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. He's gritty, he's determined, he's awkward, he doesn't really let you get in a rhythm. I think Nathaniel, rhythm is going to be key in this fight. If he does get in a rhythm and he can stay in that rhythm, he will come through it and I think win the fight. But like I just said there, with the awkwardness of Lorente and the durability and the toughness, again, Nathaniel isn't going to be able to stay on his bike for a full 12 rounds and be disciplined in box for 12 rounds. He's going to have to stand in the pocket and fight, and that takes a lot out of Nathaniel. We've all seen it. So it depends when Lorente drags him in. If he drags him in from rounds 4 or 5 onwards, it's Lorente's fight. If it's round 7, 8, maybe Nathaniel's done enough early on and then he only needs to sneak maybe one round in the back end of the fight and he can get it. Either way, it's going to be a real push over the finish line for Nathaniel.
So your feeling is, by saying it's going to be a push over the finish line, the feeling that I'm getting from you is that maybe he fades in the second half of fights. We saw Zach Miller have good success against Nathaniel Collins. You were perhaps hoping that you'd get to the second half of the fight as well and get through that storm. Was that your plan going into fighting him?
Yeah, I think everybody knows that as well. I paid the price, you know, I learned my lesson. I was too keen, too eager, far too early, and got clipped. I still confidently believe that what Lorente did was going to go the same way that in my fight. I never had the opportunity or the chance to do it. I got clipped, paid the price. But that's always been known with Nathaniel. Very sharp, very dangerous early on. I sparred countless rounds with Nathaniel. Again, maybe that's a false sense of security. always does well early on. I start getting my rhythm, get up close, start, in my opinion, I feel like start to take over. I thought the fight was going to be the same. Unfortunately it wasn't, and I paid the price.
Will he do enough tomorrow night to get this win?
I hope he does for Scotland, you know what I mean? But, and again, people might think, oh, that's just you being fucking biased or whatever, but I honestly believe if he's not won the first 6 rounds, he gets beat.
Wow.
Genuinely, because I don't think he's going to have much success in the back end of the fight. So it's what he does in the first half of the fight is massive.
So that first half of the fight, keep an eye out for the first 6 rounds. This is going to be an absolute thriller. Lee, any final word? Do you want to give Michael Gomez Jr. a message? Do you want to say anything to him? I mean, I'm sure you'll have a press conference. I'm sure you'll have something to say. But if you do, he's over there.
Just be ready. I hope you're training hard. I think this is going to be a really exciting fight. I'm coming with it all. I'm going to win. Bring everything you've got, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
I love that. I love that. Of course, May 16th, that is coming up on the Dave versus Goliath show. Lee McGregor back in action. Lee, thank you so much. You have been brilliant today. And thank you. All the talking's done. All the weighing in is done. They've hit the scales. They're going to hit each other tomorrow night. Nathaniel Collins Cristobal Lorente, the rematch, the much anticipated rematch, where the winner will be front of the queue for a shot at the WBC World Featherweight Championship. We'll be live on air from around 4:45 tomorrow on YouTube, and then 7 o'clock on DAZN. Remember, it's a Friday night delight. We'll see you then.